Hello! In this video, we will show you how to assemble 2023 GIO G2000. To assemble the bike, you're going to need the following tools: an X-Acto knife, an adjustable wrench, a Phillips screwdriver, number 3 and 6 Allen keys, and a socket wrench with 8mm and 10mm sockets. To start off, take your X-Acto knife and cut all the straps around the box. Then, with the same knife, cut the box on its edge and put it aside. Once you remove the box, you will see that the bike is attached with 4 orange straps to the bottom of the crate, 2 orange straps to the top of the crate in the back of it, and 3 ties which are holding the steering next to the top of the crate at the front of the bike. So our first step will be to undo 2 orange straps located on the top of the frame. Once you remove straps from the top, you will be able to access the box which is located in between driver's seat and the rear wheel. In this box you will be able to find your charger, manual, mirrors and mounting hardware, which we will use later in the video, so put it aside for now. Next, go ahead and remove 3 ties on the top of the cage which are holding your steering assembly. To avoid potential damages, I would recommend to grab the excess of the foam you have around the bike and stick it in between steering and the bike itself. Then undo those ties. The next step will be to separate the cage from its own base. You will be able to find 6 10mm bolts located on each side of the bottom of the cage. So grab your 10mm socket wrench and undo all 12 of those. Before we separate the cage, there are 2 more 6mm bolts holding your steering to the cage. So grab a 6mm Allen key and extract those. Now we can separate the cage from its own base. I would recommend you to get somebody to help you, as the top part is pretty heavy and you might scratch the bike, but if you feel confident enough, you can do it by yourself. Just be super careful when you do that. At this point, we're ready to assemble our steering. For that, take the box which you took from the bike before and grab a Ziploc with all the hardware in it. We're going to need to take 4 6mm bolts from the Ziploc, but before we assemble our steering, go ahead and cut all the plastic around the steering bar. Then you will be able to lay it into 2 slots located next to the display. To assemble the steering bar, we're also going to need to take 2 top mounting brackets, and you can find those if you follow your left side of your front fork. You will see them zip tied to it. Take your mounting brackets, align them with the holes in the mount itself, and then tighten with 2 6mm bolts. Repeat the process for the other side. Take your 6mm Allen key and tighten those bolts. However, do not make them snug just yet, as we will need to readjust our steering positioning later in the video. The next step of our assembly will be to assemble our light switch, which you can find on the left hand side of the bike. So go ahead, take it out of the plastic, and you can see that it's attached with 2 bolts in the back of it. So use your Phillips screwdriver to extract those and then assemble on top of the steering bar. Once you've taken the light switch apart, on the back part you will be able to find a little notch. That notch needs to align with the hole on the left hand side of your steering bar, and you can use that as your reference point to make sure that it's in the right place. Now take the front part of the light switch and attach 2 parts together with the same bolt. Our next step will be to attach our left brake lever. If you inspect the brake lever, you will see that the mounting bracket attached to it with two 8mm bolts, so take your socket wrench with 8mm socket and extract those. Then you will be able to assemble the brake lever on the left hand side of your steering bar, so assemble it in the same order. The last piece of our steering bar assembly will be to attach our USB port. There is no specific place where it has to be, so feel free to attach it anywhere you think it's going to be comfortable to you. And to assemble that, you're going to need a 3mm Allen key to take the bolt out of the USB assembly, and then use the same bolt to attach it onto the steering bar. Now we're ready to attach our mirrors. So go ahead, take the box with your mirrors and take one of the mirrors out. Each mirror can go on either side, so it doesn't matter where you assemble it. But to assemble the mirror, first of all, push the rubber cup close to the mirror itself, and then tighten the nut on the bottom of the mirror assembly to its top position. You will be able to find a hole for the mirrors on each side of the steering bar where your light switches are. So line up the mirror with the hole and start screwing it in. If you feel any resistance throughout screwing the mirror inside, stop the process, come back to the initial position, and try it again. You don't want to misalign the mirror with the hole, because that will strip your threads and might lead to a potential light switch replacement right away. Once you completely tighten the mirrors, you might end up in a situation where the mirror does not face the correct way. So for that, unscrew the mirror until it gets into the right position, and then use your adjustable wrench to tighten the nut on the bottom of the mirror assembly until it's snug. Now we need to realign our steering. So it's important that your steering lines up with your fork at the straight line. Once you adjust that, use your 6mm Allen key to tighten the steering. Once your steering bar is installed and it's tight, we're gonna come back to our Ziploc bag of hardware. Inside, you will find 4 small rubber cups, 2 bigger rubber cups, and 2 6mm bolts with nuts. For now, we're gonna take bigger rubber cups, and if you inspect those, you will see that one of them is in circular shape and the other one is in the octagon shape. Those cups are meant for our nuts located on the front axle of the front wheel. So go ahead and attach those. Then, we need to take our 4 of the smaller rubber inserts and put them on top of 4 6mm bolts we used to tighten our steering bar to the bike. At this point, our assembly is pretty much done. We're going to need to undo 4 straps which are holding the bike to the base of the crate, and then you're going to need someone's help, as the bike is pretty heavy, to push it off the base of the crate. Our last step of the assembly will be to remove the plastic around the driver and passenger seat. For that, take the key which is in the ignition port and put it into the key port located on the left hand side of the bike. Once you turn it to the right, your passenger seat will pop open, so you can just lift it up. Once you remove the seat, if you look inside of the bike, you will be able to see a blue breaker next to the driver's seat. That's your power breaker. Initially, when the bike comes to you, it's in off position, so go ahead and switch it to the other side. Also, this is a good point to try to remove all the plastic from the underneath of the driver's seat. Try to pull the plastic, and if you cannot remove it completely, use 10mm socket with socket wrench and undo 2 bolts located next to the blue breaker. Once you remove those, you will be able to take all the plastics out, and you will need to assemble the seat in the same order back on the bike. Congratulations, you just assembled your 2023 GIO G2000. We'll see you next time.